Hey gang, so I thought I would show you how I make my sourdough discard crackers, because I eat them all the time, like every day. So in here I have 4 tablespoons of butter, about a half a teaspoon of salt, sea salt, and well, actually it's Baja Gold salt, and so 1 cup of flour. This flour would be whole wheat, white, and a little bit of rye, because that's what I had left over. And then also a cup of sourdough discard. This happens to be mostly whole wheat, because that's what I feed it with. Sometimes I feed it with whole wheat. Sometimes I do rye. So give me a second. What we're going to do is, after I scrape out the rest of it, I'm going to go ahead and mix it with the spoon. So give me a second. All right, so I put it all in here. This is going to be pretty hard to do with one hand, so I'm probably going to go ahead and get it mixed together a little bit, and then I'll come back to you. I do some of it with the spoon till I get, especially the butter, broken up. This is pretty much room temperature and pretty soft, but, you know. So I'll come back when I'm done and I have at least a ball, and I'm going to mush it with my hands. A tip. Sourdough discard, any of your discards, do not just rinse this and put it down the sink. It's like cement. So what I do is I always have a handy paper towel. I wipe the cup and the spoon before I wash them. All right, so I got that pretty well incorporated with a spoon, and now all I'm gonna do is knead this till I get all the flour and butter incorporated. It starts out as a pretty sticky batter, and you may find it sticky even down to the end. It really depends on the humidity and the type of flour you're using. This doesn't require that much kneading. It's really just to get all the ingredients incorporated. So I'll be back in a second. One thing I did not tell you, I use all organic, grass-fed butter. It's unsalted. My flours are all organic, and I read everything. You could use an olive oil instead of butter if you prefer. I don't like cooking olive oil. You could use avocado oil, maybe even beef tallow. I haven't tried beef tallow, but I imagine that would work too. So, all right, give me a few minutes. When it's all mixed up, I'll come back. All right, so that's pretty well incorporated now. You can see it's still a sticky dough, but it's not totally sticking to my fingers. Now what I'm going to do is, the recipe says to cut it in half and make them into little logs and put them in the fridge. I do thirds because it's easier for me to roll out. So I will show you what it looks like when I have it into my container, rolled into 3 balls. All right, here we go. Mine look like potatoes. But now I'm going to take them, put them in the refrigerator, and let them sit to firm up a bit. That's so it really doesn't stick to your rolling pin too much. And 30 minutes, an hour, a couple hours, whatever you want to do. No. All right, so we have this. It's been sitting for a few hours now. I will take one of these potatoes. If I could get it. Okay. And we'll put it in here. I have rye flour on here. Normally I use just all-purpose. But what I'm going to do is roll it out really thin. I'll come back and when I've got it about halfway done. I really need 2 hands for this. So give me a couple minutes. All right. I have this rolled out just a little bit. And then I'm going to turn the tray and roll it out really thin. What I didn't tell you earlier was you could add spice to this when you were doing the mix. I don't, because I usually eat this with a cheese that has garlic and other flavors in it. Or I make a dip that's with cottage cheese and Greek yogurt and then tons of garlic and other flavors in it. So the crackers, I want them to be really plain. So all I do is hit them with some sesame seeds. I put it on at this point. You could roll it all the way out, brush it with a little bit of oil, and then add some toppings, whether it's this or some salt, flakes, whatever you wanted. I do it this way because I don't want to add the extra oil at the end. And yeah, so this I'm going to make really thin. I'll come back when I've got it all rolled out. Alrighty, so you can see how rolled out this is. It's really nice and thin. And I oftentimes don't hit it with the fork because I don't care if it bubbles. I will put a few holes in it with the fork. I leave mine very rustic. I let it all cook, and then I come back and just break it into pieces. I'll show you that too. But at this point, if you wanted really nice size crackers, you wanted them to look all beautiful, you could make your edges beautiful and nice, make them all squared up, and you could, I use a pizza cutter to roll through it, but you wouldn't want to do that on your tray. You'd have to roll it out on a parchment. I also don't use parchment paper or cling wrap or anything like that. Cling wrap with the forever chemicals, and parchment has silicone on it. I don't use that. I don't want anything that's going to leach into the crackers, so I use just a pan. All right, I'll be back. All right, so now you have it. This has cooked for a total of 24 minutes. I think it was 15, and then I did 11, so 25 minutes. This has come out browner because of the darker flour. Here's one from earlier in the week using white flour. So it's really, I mean, here's where the edges got a little bit darker because it's a very thin cracker. But because of the rye and the wheat in here, but here's how I do it. I just take it and I break it, and then I break it into pieces, and then I stick it in the jar. So I don't mind the rough cut. You can see when you get some bubbling in it. I think this one had a little bit of bubbling here. But overall, really nice, very flaky, very delicious, excellent with any kind of cheese or meats that you might want to use. And, you know, it's pretty easy to make. So you might give it a try. One of these days, I'll make some more sourdough bread. One of these days. All right, till then, peace out.